Most branding advices and honestly even the words people use in marketing always felt really unnatural to me. They always felt like really cold, mechanical, and like they didn't match the way I actually create as a woman. And that's why I decided to build my own system that works for me, for my body as a woman, and with a language that feels more human, more feminine, more flowy, and like easy to follow, like easy to understand for anyone. So if you ever felt like overwhelmed by all the content strategies that just really don't fit who you are, I think that this template is really gonna give you a gentler, more you way to do what you want to do and what you want to create and to support your creative process. You can download it for free. I just link it below in the description. Just follow along with me. So in this video, I'm going to guide you through one of the parts of the system that I use with my clients and that has supported me as a woman to create in rhythm with who I am, but also to use a language that it's more like enticing for me to actually create and actually to stay accountable in my process. So when you're ready, download the template and let's dive in. Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to use my cosmic branding system. So the first thing that you want to do is after you click to the link will be opened in your browsing software. In my case, has been opened in Google Chrome. And then what we can do is like to click this icon. So you see there is the research bar icon, then there is the sharing icon, and then there is this two little square, like one on the other icon. You want to click on it and duplicate this template in your own Notion. This is super important before we start. So once you do that, it will open in your Notion app down here. Be sure that you have Notion downloaded on your computer before you do this. I think it's better to have it on your desktop, on your computer, on your laptop, to keep using it and keep accessing it in a more, in an easier way. So once you have duplicate this on your Notion, you most likely will see this name, Cosmic Branding System 1, because it's a copy. You can delete this whole name and you can just write your own name. But for instance, I want to call it Chiara's Cosmic System or Cosmic Content System. Like, that's up to you. Actually, you can also change the cover. Let's see. Change the cover right here of this system, so it just becomes a bit more you and a bit more personal to you, and you're more excited to come back to it. You can also change this icon, actually, and put any icon you want. You can put this icon if you want, or like whatever resonates with you. And now we are going to explain how this works. So up here, you have a checklist of what you will find inside this system, this Notion template. We're going to talk about your why, the access doors to your world, the how to create templates for your content, the idea bank, the posting rhythm, the content progress, the calendar, everything. So let's go one by one. Let's start with your why. So the reason why I put this here is because it's really important that you have always like very well visible your why, the reason you do what you do. Because every time you feel like a bit doubtful about the things they are doing, like we are all confronted with a little bit like of healthy and sometimes unhealthy doubt about ourselves and what we are trying to create and manifest into the world. So this for me is really important, like to have my mission statement, to have my why like really clear and see it every time that I open this system. So you can just write it here. And here I'm explaining you why this matters, so the thing that I just said, and how to get to your why. You can ask yourself these questions. I do what I do because XYZ. The shift I want to create for my audience is XYZ. If my brand disappeared tomorrow, I think I'd want people to remember is. So there is a very beautiful game that I love to do in my containers and in my one-to-ones mentoring programs, which is the why ladder game. So asking yourself why again and again about why you do what you do and why that matters and why should people care. So that's another way to get to your why. You can do it with your friend, you can do it with your partner, you can do it with a chatbot and ask ChatGPT to ask you questions about it and to challenge you. There are many ways to do this, or you can do it with yourself and just a journal. So this is the why. Now, let's go to the access door to my world. So what are the access doors? I'm explaining it here. The access doors, like if you imagine your brand as a planet, the access doors to your brand are basically all those access points. Like imagine like your planet has all these doors that people can get to know you, can enter into your ecosystem, can enter into your planet, into your world. Brands are worlds. So we need to create access doors for people to enter and get to know us. So that's basically what this is. I call it access doors. In like normal, traditional marketing, they're called content pillars. It's the same thing. It's the kind of things you want to talk about and you want people to know you for. And that is it. Then, how to create access door that works. You can just go through all of this and trying to understand how to make them work and what questions you can ask yourself to make them work. Then you have the cosmic levels of content. This is also really important. So I always say that every access doors has 3 cosmic levels that they can work in. The first one is constellations, the second one is orbits, and the third one is landing. The reason why I'm saying this is because not everything, like when we want to achieve a goal and we want to follow a strategy, everything needs to have kind of a purpose, like everything we share and we put out there. And I love to refer to it as constellation, orbits, and landing. This kind of doors that we put out there. Basically, these are the levels through which every access door operates. So you can go through it, but I'm gonna just mention it quickly. Constellations are those kind of content that are really shareable and people find easily. So viral content, very like memes, relatable truth about like your target audience, etc. And it's the first kind of spark of visibility that you get with your non-followers. So you're gonna go for this kind of content more if, for instance, you want to engage more with new audience and non-followers, and for instance, like you have a very nurtured community and now you want to pass to the non-followers. Then the orbits are people that already gravitate around you, that already discover your world, that they likely follow you. And so these kind of content are more kind of value-based, meaning if you already follow me, I want to give you the most that I can of the things that I know. So tutorials, inspirational stories, etc., etc. And then the landing are the kind of content that you post if you want people to discover your offer, if you want to create more awareness around your offerings. And you can imagine this as looking up to the sky, constellation, like they see you, but they're still far away, non-followers. Then they orbit around you, they comment, they like, they kind of interact a lot with your content. And then the landing is when they kind of land on your planet and when they decide to stay and to buy. So you can read more about this, but I feel it's very straightforward. Then you have the instructions on how to use these doors. I will give you an example. So once you're here, what you want to do first is to give a name to all these access doors. You can also add new ones. They don't have to be 6, they can be less or more. I think that the sweet spot is like 5, 6 max. But anyway, so you're gonna insert the name of your access door here. So let's say one of the access doors is education. So educational content. And then down here, you want to understand very well this access door that you created. And here I tell you exactly how. So what kind of question you should ask yourself: what core problem this access door solves, and on what, like, how this access door is operating on each level. Because if you outline everything here, then it's going to be very easy for you to put content out there and be sure that every content has a purpose. So you're going to do the same thing with every access door. You can just take this as a template and copy paste it in the other one. Then we have creating templates for your content. So one thing that I really stress about, especially for people that have a lot of passions and feel a bit lost in the sea of ideas, is to create templates in Canva, in InDesign, like whatever software you use. To create templates, like here I explain it step by step, we need to choose a format. So is this going to be a carousel, a reel, a story? We need to assign it a level. How am I going to speak in this carousel? To who I'm going to speak to? I'm going to speak in a more like shareable, viral way just to attract new potential leads. Am I going to use the orbit level, and so kind of just nurturing my existing following? Am I gonna speak directly about my offerings, or is gonna be like a mix maybe of these two? Just label it to know what you're doing. And then the step 3 is to pick the dress for your format. And this is the template. So these things all together form the template. So you're going to choose your font, the colors, the layout rules, the details you're going to add in that specific template. And then you're just going to save it on Canva or whatever software you use. So every time you have an idea, you choose a level, you choose a format, you can just go straight into your template. Then we have the idea bank. This for me is really useful because this helps me to don't get stuck in perfectionism. Like every time I have an idea, I have Notion on my phone. I'm just like writing down the idea over here. For instance, like 5 tips to choose your brand colors, for instance. What is this gonna be? A carousel, a reel, a newsletter, a live? I'm gonna choose it. What access door is this? Is educational? It's another access door. How to change these doors is not automatical. You need to do it manually. You just go here, and here you can change the name. So for me, the first one was education. Okay, and you just do the same for each door. And then what cosmic level is this post this idea operating on? Landing, orbit, constellation. I think for me is orbit in this case, because I'm kind of nurturing my existing following. And here you can also add a CTA if you want. I think it's always really important to add a CTA to lead people somewhere. And then you can put notes, link, of inspiration. Maybe you saw this same post from somewhere else and you want to do something similar, then you can put it here. If you want to develop this idea, I do it in the next step, but if you want to write more about this to don't forget your idea, you can just click on open. A page will open and you can just write down here. Okay? Done. Now, let's go to posting rhythm. The reason why I added this is because I think it's really important to decide how many times you're going to post per month or per week. So here I teach you how I do it and like what is the right balance, and how you can use also your Instagram insights to understand what's best for you based on your specific case and your goals as well. So once I'm done with the posting rhythm and I decided how many times I want to post, and I suggest to make this sustainable to your own rhythm, to don't go too much or too little, I suggest, of course, a rhythm. But it's all based on your kind of goals and insights also. So let's see. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to the content progress, which is basically just a simple tracker of your ideas, where you're at, and just to stay accountable with your process. So I'm gonna take this idea that I already thought about, and I'm gonna put it in writing. I can also put it here in idea. So this means I'm gonna start working on it for me. Then I can put it here when I'm starting to write it, when the writing part is done, basically all the carousel, it's outlined and the caption is ready. Then you can put it in editing when you're doing it. When you're, for instance, taking this text that you have into Canva. In the case of a carousel, if it's a reel, it's going to be editing software. Then ready to post. And then you can either put it here in scheduled, or if you want, you can use this calendar that is down here. Here I wrote how to use it, but I'm going to show you. You just basically drag your content in the day that you want to schedule it. Here, you can also click on it and choose a status. So you're going to see it here, and it's going to be even more clear that you already scheduled this post. So one thing that I forgot to say that I suggest is, like, before you do all of this, I would suggest to just assign every name to each access door in every section, like this section, and this one. So you have it all, and also of course this one. So you have it all done before you start actually creating the content. If you don't see these options, which I think you should, you just go on settings and you go on property visibility. And here you have all the properties, these ones that you can see. If you want to hide any of them, you just go, you do this, or this, and it's done. So that's all. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you're gonna start using this Notion template. Let me know, like write me an email at hello@chiaraL.com, or reach out to me on social media or on Instagram, Substack, wherever you want, or here on YouTube. Yeah, I really hope this helps and will support your creative process. Thank you. Thank you so much for following until the end. I hope my tutorial really supported you to understand this Notion template and to implement it into your own system. If you have any doubt, if you don't know how to use it, if you're having trouble with it, please write me in the comments of this video so I can support you the best that I can. And also let me know how it was for you, if you enjoyed it, if it supported your creative process. I would love to know, because I will also love to improve it if there is anything to improve. Sending love.